As Australia is a leading nation in the battle of achieving a pollution-free environment, we look forward to see Australia as a leading nation in the battle of achieving a tyrant-free world. We are looking forward to see Australia taking all necessary measures to free the Syrian people from their dictator Bashar al-Assad and his criminal regime. Ladies and gentlemen, I have much pleasure to call upon our mayor, the mayor of Canterbury Council, the best council in New South Wales, the Honorable His Worship Mr. Brian Robson. Please give him a big welcome. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. I begin by paying my respects to the Bediagal people, the traditional custodians of the land in which we meet, and to their elders, both past and present. To Sheikh Safi, to my Deputy Mayor, Carl Saleh, to Hassan Bandashi, the President of the Australian Syrian Association. Thank you for inviting me here tonight for this important fundraising event. While I'm pleased to be here this evening to help raise the much-needed funds for the people of Syria, I'm also saddened that this is almost a 2-year conflict continues on unabated. It was only 11 months ago I was in this very hall, this very place, helping to support the Syrian people, and I've been to a number of functions since then, and I'm proud to be associated with the refugee efforts and helping those that are most needed. The United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon recently said that the situation in Syria is catastrophic and getting worse day by day. The United Nations figures suggest that more than 60,000 Syrians are dead. About 4 million are in need of humanitarian assistance, among them more than 2 million forced from their homes and now living without basic services. Some 70,000 more have left the country, mostly settling in neighbouring Lebanon, Turkey, Jordan and Iraq. Schools, hospitals and shops have been destroyed. Much of Syria's public infrastructure has been damaged. With that in mind, governments across the world have increased the support for the Syrian people, and that is why we're here tonight. Following a meeting in Kuwait, international donors have pledged $1.5 billion in aid. US President Barack Obama has approved an additional $155 million in humanitarian assistance for Syrians, bringing the total US aid to $365 million. The Australian government recently pledged an additional $10 million to Syria in humanitarian aid. This money will go towards supplying the Syrian people with food, clean water, clothing and shelters, and our hope is with the support of our local community, we can do our part in helping Syrians in need. I know that Syrians are a proud people and are amongst the friendliest and most hospitable people in the world, and their country has a long history and a very rich heritage. The ancient cities of Damascus, Aleppo and Bosra are all listed on UNESCO's World Heritage List, as is the sensationally beautiful ruined city of Palmyra. Sadly, as recent pictures of Aleppo have shown, the real of Bashar al-Assad and his Ba'ath Party is casting a dark shadow on this proud history. It's not unreasonable that the Syrian people demand an end to oppression, violence, corruption, economic reform and political reform. As a country, Australia condemns the actions of the Bashar al-Assad regime, and as a local community, we continue to support the Syrian uprising. When I was asked to speak tonight, I thought, what do I know about the terror in Syria? What do I know about their fight for human rights, democracy and freedom? With regard to Syria, all I know is what is reported in the papers and on the news, and that's terrible enough. But when I was preparing the speech, I thought, what do I have in common with the people of Syria? I live in a free and a democratic society. I've never experienced discrimination, nor have I had to fight for my freedom, for my rights. But the answer is obvious. What we do all have in common is the desire to express an opinion without fear of retribution. The desire to follow a religion of our choice without discrimination. The desire to meet openly with friends and relatives without having the secret police knocking on the door. The desire to voice a political opinion contrary to that of the ruling party. The desire to have a life without looking over your shoulder all of the time. These are what we have in common. The only difference is that you and I have these freedoms. The people of Syria do not. These are things that you and I take for granted, but they are freedoms not available to those in Syria. Even though we're on the other side of the world, we can still have some impact on the events unfolding in Syria by voicing our concerns and providing support for those fighting for real change. As a community, we are proud of the work the Australian Syrian Association is doing for the Syrian people. The association and these fundraising events help the people of Syria know that they are not alone. The Australian Syrian Association continues to make sure that the message gets through loud and clear, and the City of Canterbury is proud to support this great and worthwhile cause. I know the funds we raise here tonight will make a real difference to the Syrian people, who continue to inspire us with all of their fight for freedom, human rights and democracy. Shukran.